3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is so incredibly hard. Stuff going on around me.
Hello everyone, my name is Lindey and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about...
There's so many distractions today. It's taken me 15 minutes to even start. There's my intro blooper. Thanks, honey. Hello everyone, welcome back into my channel. I am just getting my day started and I am packaging up some items that sold on our Facebook page yesterday. And I figured while I was packaging up everything that sold, I would kind of show you some of the items that sold, tell you how much it sold for, and then do a little bit of storytelling with you guys, because I know sometimes those kind of videos can get really redundant, you know, just like holding up a product and saying how much it sold for. It gets kind of boring. So I figured while I package things up, I will tell you a few stories that I haven't told you yet. And I figured what kind of stories are better to tell than those of my discomfort when dealing with customers. So come with me while I take you on a journey of the 3 strangest encounters I have ever had with customers inside my store. So this first item I'm packaging up today is, if I can get it out of the box, it's an iBotta bird feeder. I believe it was about $20, $18 or $20 on Amazon, and I sold it on our Facebook page for $9. So the first story I want to tell you about is the story of that time that this random guy tickled me. I say that and Matt just snickers. It's the story of the time this random guy in the store tickled me. It sounds a little funny, but truth be told, it was incredibly creepy. And it was an encounter that I never, ever, ever thought that I would have with a customer. And it took me so completely aback, and I was caught so incredibly off guard. I was in a state of shock and I didn't even know what to do. So here's how it happened. At the time, this was on like our busiest day of the week. And one thing that our bin store would do on our busiest day of the week is we would constantly add new product to the bins. So the busiest day of the week, we would have bins already ready to go so that when the table started to get low, we could walk out and dump more merchandise in bins, right? So we would have bins about this size, just completely full of merchandise. We would just simply carry them out there, dump them out. And then of course, what would happen? Customers would just swarm us. And so we would have to get out of the herd while holding this giant tub and trying not to, you know, whack people over with it when we were trying to evade and get out of there with our empty bin. The next item that sold is this dinosaur racetrack. So it's a 168-piece racetrack. It just has like a little dinosaur car and all of that. This was, I believe, $30 on Amazon. I sold it on our Facebook page for $15. So it's my turn to dump a bin into the bin. And of course, there's just this huge crowd of people. I go and I dump my bin. And then in order to get out of the herd, I lift the empty bin above my head like this. And I'm trying to like squeeze my way out of the crowd holding this giant bin over my head. Well, as I'm like full arm extended, this rando guy comes up behind me and just simply goes, tickle, 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 right here on my body, like, touches me, tickling right here. Tickle, 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 tickle. Completely creeps me out, completely catches me off guard. I almost drop this bin because there's this stranger's hands on my freaking handles. And in the moment, all I can think to do is whip around, look at him and say, don't touch me. What else can you do? I'm just like, dude, don't touch me. So then immediately after that, I'm talking to the other members of my staff who at the time were all women. And I told them about the situation, and I told them about, you know, what I said to him, the look I gave him. And I basically told all of the girls, if anybody touches you, kick them out. This next item that sold is a set of 6 acrylic white shelves. So they're just these standard wall shelves that are solid white, 6 of them that you mount on the wall. These sold for $10. Well, I can tell you that after that happened, this guy really didn't show his face in the store anymore. I think that that was probably not the reaction that he wanted to get. He saw how I reacted to him. He saw how I immediately went over and talked to all of my staff and basically warned them and even pointed at him. Could I have handled it better? Should I have handled it in a different way? I don't know. I just never, ever expected to be tickled by a random man inside the store. I don't think that it was anything other than him trying to be funny. The reason why I think this is because we had seen this customer in the store before, and to be honest, he didn't seem like he was all there, if I'm being honest. He seemed like he had some boundary issues, and I didn't really think that he was trying to be malicious, or I didn't think he was trying to be creepy, but definitely caught me off guard, and I guess I'm better prepared if it ever happens again in the future. This is a pink serving tray, just like a little breakfast in bed tray or a decorative tray of some kind. This I just sold for $9. The next story is very strange because, again, I did not know how to handle the situation because I was so incredibly taken aback by the entire thing. In hindsight, I'm like looking back going, I probably could have handled this in a better way. But then at the same time, I'm kind of like, no, I really don't think I could have. I mean, what more could I have done? And this was the time where an older lady in the store hated our new store model so much that we had to threaten to call the police on her. So as a lot of you know, we had to change the model of the store around. We had to change it from a traditional bin store model where we start at one price at the start of the week and then the price decreases. We had to end up changing it because just the money that we were making with the rising costs and everything, we had to change how we were setting up the store. So we basically changed it from a decreasing pricing model to a flat pricing model every single day of the week. Doing this allowed us to have a truckload last longer. It also allowed us to stock every single day, and it allowed us to control our prices a little bit more. So when you have a decreasing store structure where the prices are changing every single day based on what day of the week it is, the customers are kind of the ones that are dictating your profit margins, right? Because you, of course, want everything to sell for as high of a dollar amount as possible so that your profits are better. But when you have this decreasing price model, all it takes is one bad day for the customers to then dictate and have your item sell for a lower price. So this new pricing model really helped out our store to control our profit margins. But a lot of customers do not like it. That sold is a digital meat thermometer. Digital meat thermometer. It works off of Bluetooth. It does all of the things. And it sold for $15. I think the regular price was $30 on Amazon, sold on our Facebook page for $15. So there was this older lady who used to come in and shop all the time. And she was always a little bit of a grouch, but you could kind of tell that that's just her personality. That was just how she was. So she ended up coming in one day with what I found out later were her sisters. And they all came in and shopped, and it was, I guess, the first or second time they had come since we had changed the store model. And the whole time, this lady is just huffing and puffing, and you could tell that she's just not a happy camper, which, like I said, you could just kind of tell that that's the kind of person she was. She was just never really a smiley, happy person, but all of the people that she was with was having a really good time. And so we didn't really think anything of it. We just thought that maybe she was in a bad mood. Well, then they get to checkout, and that's when all hell broke loose. Item is a cordless stick vacuum cleaner. It was brand new in the box. Everything is in there. $149.99 on Amazon. We sold it for $75 on our Facebook page. So she gets up to the checkout, and she's up there with, at the time, my assistant manager. And she looks at Leah, and she says, "Who do I file a formal complaint with?" Well, who wants to file a formal complaint? So Leah says, I'm the assistant manager. You can just talk to me about it. And as soon as she says that, she just starts like unloading on Leah about how much she hates the new store model and we need to do it the other way immediately. And poor Leah is just like standing there with the 60-something-year-old woman just like yelling at her about how she hates the new store model. She doesn't like the way it is. She doesn't like the inventory. She doesn't like the fact that all the prices are the same. She doesn't care that we stock every day now. She just starts unloading all of her displeasure about the new store model. And so Leah very politely just starts kind of explaining to her that due to rising costs and other things associated with operating our store, this was the new model that we needed to go with, and that she would happily relay all of her concerns to the owner, me, and figured that that was the end of the story. But wait, there's more. This next item that sold is a hover hockey set. It comes with the goals, a couple of hockey pucks and soccer thingies and the sticks and all of that. Comes with all the things. I believe it was $30 or $35 on Amazon. We sold it for $15 on our Facebook page. So this lady is so infuriated that Leah is not telling her, oh, we're going to go back to the old model. She ends up giving Leah all the stuff that she was going to buy and says, forget it. I'm not going to buy any of it, which, okay, we have some people do that at checkout. Just because you have an item in your hands, it doesn't mean that you have to pay for it. You can give it back and leave. Except she didn't give it back and leave. She decides to, while she's waiting for her sisters to finish shopping and check out, she decides to go on a mission to announce to the entire store full of people about how much she hates our store. Yeah, she's so displeased that she decides to announce it to God and everybody, as if she was on a soapbox, her distaste for our store now. Customers are kind of looking at her like she's a little nuts. I mean, let's face it, she was acting a little nuts. Her sisters immediately start getting ready to check out probably because they're embarrassed. And if you're wondering exactly why I didn't step in, it's because it was really early on when Leah was my manager and I really wanted to see how she would handle the situation. So I just kind of held back, and I think she did a really good job. So the entire time her sisters are checking out, they are just apologizing to Leah, saying, you know, she's in a really bad mood today. We still need to go over to Walmart. We're probably going to take her home. But then, if you can believe it, it got even worse. This next item that sold is a doggy in memory stained glass. It's very cute, like in memory of doggy stained glass. And it sold for $8 on the Facebook page. So when it's noticed that she is upsetting other customers, we ask her to leave. You know, we say, ma'am, if you don't want to shop here, you can leave. Her sisters are in the process of checking out, so we figured she would have no problem going and waiting in the car or something. And the last item I have to bag today is this Catherine Zeta-Jones robe. So it is by Casa Zeta-Jones, but it's Catherine Zeta-Jones's company. It's a size medium, luxury, soft, fluffy rose robe. I believe it is on Amazon for somewhere between $35 and $45. We sold it on our Facebook page for $15. So we asked this woman to leave. And of course, her reaction is something along the lines of, well, fine, I'll leave. There's nothing here I want anyway. So she starts making her way to this door. But while making her way to the front door, she is still vocalizing her displeasure for our store. So she starts making her way to the exit, right? But the entire way she's walking to the door, she is very loudly vocalizing her dissatisfaction with the way the store is being run, the way the store model is now, and how she just wishes it would go back the other way. Well, then, unfortunately for the customer, another customer comes to our defense. By the front door, there is another customer who has her shopping cart and she's kind of looking through our cell phone bin, which is located next to the door. This other customer is in the middle of shopping and she decides to tell this disgruntled customer, it's really not that bad. So this other customer starts saying things like, I don't think it's that bad. I like the new store model. I like that they stock every single day now. And then this poor woman who came to our defense starts getting jumped all over by this disgruntled customer. And that's when to step in and ask her to get out. Otherwise, we were calling the police. And then she starts going on this huge tirade about, yeah, we should go ahead and call the Derby Police Department because she knows all of the officers here in Derby and she dares us to call them on her. Like, lady, I highly doubt you're that important. So then Leah takes out her cell phone and starts to call 911, and then the lady vacates the store. The entire time, her sisters are apologizing for her behavior, and they basically reassure us that they will not bring her back next time. But one of the sisters said that she really loved the store and she would be back, but she would not bring her sister with her the next time. All right, now that is all I have to bag for our Facebook sales from the last day. I'm going to take you in the back room for this last story. You know, it's getting serious when I have to excuse myself. I'm coming in the way back room. So now this next story, I really, really want to know if you guys think I did the wrong thing. Okay, here's what happened. I had to end up blocking this 70-year-old man for harassing me on Facebook. So there is this older gentleman named Danny. I had only met him in the store once or twice before. He was a pretty difficult customer because he kept asking the same questions over and over again. I kept answering him, and it started to feel like he kept asking me the same questions, expecting me to answer differently because he wanted an even better deal. You know, when a customer comes in and asks you, how much is this? And you respond, everything is $3. And then he says, everything is $3. And I say, yes, sir. Everything is $3 unless it has one of these green or orange price tags. If it has one of these green or orange price tags, then it's priced as marked. But if there's no green or orange price tag, it's $3. I honestly don't know how much more clear I can be. And I remember him so distinctly because I remember how aggravated I was. And throughout his entire shopping trip, he would walk up to me and he would say, how much is this? And I'd say, sir, it's $3. Oh, okay. And then he'd walk up, how much is this? Sir, it's $3. And then like he would bring up something that had a green price tag on it. And he'd be like, well, how much is this? And I'd say, sir, it has a green price tag on it. It's priced $5. So that is $5. I just didn't know how more clear I could be. So I already knew that he was kind of a difficult guy. Then he sends me a Facebook message. And you know what? I'm just going to read you the series of messages right now. So one random day I'm working and I get a notification that he sends me a message. This is the message that he sends me. He starts it off with, I made a special 25-mile round trip on Monday, but you were closed at 5:45 p.m. I responded back to him, we close at 6 p.m. At 5:45 p.m., we turn the open sign off so that people are aware we are close to closing time, but we don't lock the doors until 6 p.m. And then he responds with, come on, Lindsay, which you know that I love, one, when someone tries to call me by name like they actually know me, and then two, spell it wrong, say it wrong, which just goes to show that they really don't know me at all. It really gets under my skin when someone tries to refer to me by name and they use the wrong name. It's like he was trying to pull a card, like he knew me and he was going to tell me what I was doing. And it just really, really got under my skin. Come on, Lindsay. If you are not open, then you change your posted hours. Okay. I said, our posted hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We simply turn the open sign off at 5:45 so customers coming in know that we are near closing time. Then he responds back with, I did not stop because it said you were closed. That is stupid. If you are open, leave the open sign on. I responded back with, "We don't do anything different than any other company approaching 15 minutes to closing down." He replies, "Business Ethics 101. I do not think so." I responded, "We are currently busy and I will not argue business ethics with you, sir. Have a good day." Then he continues on. "There were no cars in the parking lot. Just a friendly suggestion. You did the same thing at Christmas, closing hours early. You should post that. Gasoline is too high. Wichita people will stop shopping there when you do this. I would have been there earlier, but rush hour traffic was bad, trains, etc." Keep getting notification after notification after notification when I essentially told him that I was not going to argue with him and to have a good day. He just kept sending messages. Here's the other problem that I had with this. He claimed that there was no cars in the parking lot. Well, that is a bold-faced lie because I was still there. And this is where I do want feedback from you guys. Do you think that this is a bad business practice? We have always switched off the open sign about 10 or 15 minutes before we close down, simply because our store is the kind of store where you can't really just run in and run out. Typically, it takes someone at least 30 minutes to shop because, you have to dig through bins, you have to look for things. So typically what we've always done 10 to 15 minutes before close is we just switch the open sign off. We still have a door hanging sign that says open. We haven't flipped that over to closed yet. We just simply turn off the bright open sign. The door is still unlocked. The hangy door sign still says open. I mean, what do you think? Is that business practice? Should we wait to turn off the open sign until 6 o'clock on the nose? Let me know what you think. And he continues, blowing up my phone. An employee said Monday and Tuesday are better days to shopping there. Also, I do not like your new system. The old system was better. If you were a customer, you would be upset too. Driving there 3 times and you were not open. 75 miles of wasted driving. I have alternatives. At this point, internally, I was absolutely fuming inside because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, the audacity of this man saying that he's wasted 75 miles, a total of 3 round trips, that he didn't get to come in because he thought that we closed early. The biggest thing running through my head is, why are you waiting until 15 minutes before we close to show up? And why every single other time when you've made a 25-mile trip, were you, 1, making a trip that far, so close to closing time, and 2, not even stopping to see if the door was still unlocked, especially when there is still a hanging sign in the window that says open. The lighted open sign is just turned off. So the lighted open sign is turned off. There is a hanging sign on the door that says open. You've driven 25 miles, but you don't think to even stop and try to come inside? Also, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm driving that far somewhere and I know that they're closing soon, what's the point? He knows that we close at 6 o'clock, but yet he cuts it so close every time. And then he wants to blame me for his wasted miles, saying that gas is too high. I wanted to respond so bad, you guys. I wanted to respond so bad, but you know what? I didn't. I didn't respond. At that point, I blocked him. Because honestly, this is something that I have come to learn after dealing with the public. And this is a bit of advice that I feel like I could pass on to anybody, especially if you're dealing not just with the general public, but you're dealing with someone behind a computer screen. Maybe you're selling online, you have a difficult customer. This is one bit of advice that I can give you. Some customers cannot be reasoned with. That is why I opted to just simply block him rather than continue that conversation on. I had already told him that I was not going to argue business ethics with him, that I was very busy and to have a good day. And he blew up my phone with an additional 10, 15, 20 messages. Customers like this can't be reasoned with because they think they know better. When you're dealing with a customer that thinks they know better, sometimes it's better to just stop engaging. And that's exactly what I did by blocking them. If you encounter a customer that cannot be reasoned with, a customer that thinks that they know better, to just keep your mouth shut and not say anything at all. Let them think that they're right, because even if you get into an argument with them, they're going to think they're right anyway. It's better just to have peace of mind and to remove yourself from the equation. But I'm genuinely curious, do you think that turning the open sign off 15 minutes before closing is a bad idea? Up to this point, I haven't thought so, because we still have customers walk in. It could be 5 minutes until closing time. That open sign is turned off. People are still walking in. And it really does help people to know, in my opinion, I think it really does help people to know that we're getting close to closing time, because the open sign has been turned off. The door is still unlocked. People are still welcome to come in, but the open sign being turned off is kind of an indication that we're about to close. And then usually customers in the store will then see us at 6 o'clock, walk over, flip the open sign to closed, and then they know that we're closed. Those Facebook messages that day got really, really deep under my skin. Just being honest, really deep under my skin. But all right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed my little story time today. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up before you leave, the YouTube algorithm really, really likes it. It also lets me know that you like content like this. Don't forget to leave any questions or comments down in the comments below. Don't forget to open the video description. I always put a lot of useful information in there. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post another video. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.